change, I really couldn't say. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today. Except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today. From my home, cracked and broken asphalt everywhere. I could have ended up just like that broken road, with a dead end in my path. Thank the Lord that I've got more than that. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I won't forget the lessons that I don't deserve. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I love today. One street over there's a life I could have known. Things aren't
Oh, good morning, Ridgetop Ramblers singing us in. I'm in here talking to Mayor Billy Vogle and losing track of time. You know how we'll do. Hey, guys, this is 1100 WSGI. I'm Utah Laverne, and this is one street over. And the mayor's in the house, so hey, does he look nice in his blue today? Pull that microphone on down there. So we're just...
I'm in the building. I
gotta tell you,
Ron Slay says.
I have been doing so much better about getting in here because I'm trying. I've got so many things I want to write, Mayor. And nothing to do with anything political. It's all very spiritual ministry stuff that I'm working on. And so I'm trying to find time to do it. And so I had gotten in my mind, I'm going to get up earlier and I'm going to get into the studio a half hour early so I can sit down and just focus on writing. Because if I'm at the house, I'm like, oh, I need to do that. I need to do that. So I need to be kind of outside of my space. And so I did. Sometimes I do good, but then I'm just not getting it. And I've got to get in here early and get my writing done and just have time to kind of ease into the show, make you, Maldonado, very happy because he's like, Laverne. He's former military. He's on time. Dude still runs. I'm so jealous. Goodness.
Well, in the afternoons, or late when I get home at night, Cindy will say, you want to do this? You want supper? And I said, Cindy, I need to unwind a few minutes first.
Amen,
brother. Just sit down and unwind and grab a book or something. Yeah. I've got to where I'm going to the library again every week.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and checking out a book and reading it, because I used to be a sponge and read all the time.
Oh, really?
And then I just got so busy, I just sort of quit. But I'm going back to the library and checking out books.
Yeah.
We got a great library.
Yes, we do.
Very, very good library.
My thing is, I I have not been going to the library as much because I do everything. I have everything on digitally. I have my books digitally in my hand, on my phone, and that kind of thing. And so that way, if I get caught in some meeting, or not meeting, but I wouldn't be reading a book in a meeting. That would not be right. But if I get caught in a doctor's office or something, or if I get caught in an appointment, I've got something to read, so I'm never bored. So I keep most of my reading on digital form now. So, but I do like holding a book in my hand. So maybe during the holidays, I can go over there while I've got a little bit of time off, go get me a book and just do some enjoyment reading rather than studious reading, right? What kind of stuff do you read?
I kind of like CIA stuff.
Oh, yeah, cool.
If you got terrorists over in other countries, we'll send Jason Bourne over or something like that.
Yeah, oh yeah, I love that
I
stuff.
like that kind of stuff.
I do too. I
and
love
a lot
that
of politics is involved with
Yeah.
the president making decisions, and of course in these books there's always about 10 crooked people in Washington that's working behind the scenes trying to mess over the president. It's pretty interesting. There's an author called Vince Flynn. And
yes.
If you'll start from the beginning, I'm going to tell you, he's the best I've ever read.
He's the one that died, though, didn't he?
He died of cancer.
Yeah.
But now he's got a ghostwriter that's helping him out, or still going
kind of finishing that character. Really?
Yeah, carrying that series on. But I'm telling you, if you'll ever start reading that, it's the best I've ever read.
Oh, me too. Because see, I had read it up until Vince died.
Yeah.
And because I was pretty sure that's who you were talking about, because I read every one of those novels, and then whenever he passed, because he and Glenn, because I worked for Glenn Beck for a little while, but him and Glenn were really close, and so I knew all of a sudden he was just gone, and they thought he was going to kind of turn around, and then all of a sudden it just got him, because I remember Glenn being really upset one day about it. And then so I just kind of quit picking up his books, because I thought, well, without Vince here, man, it's just not going to be the same. So I haven't even given him a try. But you're saying go read them, huh?
Yeah, the first one that came out after he passed away, I could tell that it just wasn't quite there.
Okay.
But I went ahead and got a second one.
Okay.
And hey, it was like
I'm on it, man. Yeah.
And
okay.
I can't tell people. I read John Grisham. I read them all.
Yeah.
Vince Flynn is the best I've ever read.
He was. It just broke my heart when he passed. But because I loved him. Is it Rapp?
Mitch Rapp.
Mitch Rapp. Yeah. I just hadn't thought about those books in a while, because I haven't read them in years. But Mitch Rapp was the hero in that, and so he's still going strong.
He's still going strong. Yeah.
Cool.
You think surely we don't have people like it out there.
Oh yeah, we do.
But if somebody's going to fly a plane into a building and killed, 3,000 something people and everything, you got to have somebody that's out there trying to stop it.
You better believe it.
Yeah.
We had, when we did Memorial Day, okay, there was a Don Wall is somebody who I've known forever, and he they're at our church, and he told me one day, he says, I've got some people we need to do, because we put up a memorial thing at church about people that in your family that have given their life for the liberty of our country. And so he has several in his family. And one was not a family member of his, but he was like an adopted son of his that's actually a cousin to another member at the church. And the dude was like operative. I mean, and when you can't, and they started telling me his story, and I can't remember the guy's name, but oh yeah, he was one of those kind of guys. Yeah. And when you go and look him up, it's like his death is classified, and it's like, okay, because and I'm wanting to, I can't remember all the detail. I'll have to get you that, because it's fascinating. Yeah. And I think he's buried in Arlington. I think. I'll have to get with Don. I've got the notes at church, because we use these. I keep them. What I do is, when I find out we've got somebody at church that's connected, that's a family member. It's got to be a family member usually, and we'll put a story, a little short snippet about who they are with some pictures, and we have these frames that are like floating frames that we put up, and we have the flag there, and we have a board at our church of names. If you tell us you're a veteran and you've served honorably, then we're going to put you up on our board. And so we have a board full of veterans' names in our congregation. And so, I just, he's an interesting dude, though. But he's kind of.
I would love to go to Arlington Cemetery.
Oh, I've been.
I haven't, and
you need to go.
I would love to go. Mm-hmm. there's a lot. I like to go to the Smithsonian's. I've never been there.
Oh, you're kidding, Billy.
Never
Get
have.
in the car and take a week off and go.
We'll
It's
see.
not that
We'll
bad of a
see.
drive.
We'll see,
You need a vacation.
Well,
just go do
you're right
that.
about that,
Just go do that.
But there's a lot going on when you're the mayor. You're pretty well
I
busy
know.
all the time.
Yeah.
I'm still chairman of the MPO, but
Yeah.
just working with TDOT, trying to get projects started, and we've had to do a task force because a lot of projects are not getting finished. And if you start a project today, it'll be 15 years before you get it finished.
We're talking major road
That's how
construction.
far they're
Yeah,
behind.
yeah.
And right now, every road project that TDOT's got is coming in 40% over budget. Mm-hmm. So they're robbing money, for lack of a better word, from some projects down the road and moving that money up to finish these projects. And I was at a meeting the other day, and they said in 20 years, Rutherford County will have a bigger population than Davidson.
Wow.
I hadn't thought about that. And then you got Williamson County and Maury County right
See,
there.
I would have thought Williamson would have been bigger than Rutherford. They're saying Rutherford's one
Rutherford
that.
County's going to be.
Really?
Yes. And that's where TDOT is focusing a lot of money.
Wow.
They're behind down there now, around Smyrna, trying to get traffic moved. And the more we need things up here, but the population's growing down there faster than it is above Nashville.
Interesting. Well, I've got a lot of friends from Egypt, and there's a lot of international communities on that end of town. I mean, massive communities, and there's a huge Egyptian population on that end of town.
Well,
there's a big Kurdish population over there, and I mean, we are the international community of this area would blow your mind. And I've
talking
tried
about
to get
the Hispanic population down there.
yeah, that's a gift.
Is
Yes,
just doubling and doubling.
Yes.
And we're talking about in Williamson and Rutherford County. and
Oh
Maury
yes,
County. Yes.
But yes, the international population is massive, and I'll tell you though. Now, as far as the like a lot of the Latinos that are here, there's a lot of migration coming across the border, and there's a lot of status with your. They're migrants and they're not legal. A lot of the Kurdish people who I don't really know a lot in the Kurdish community. The Egyptians I know, they're all citizens. They came here on a immigration plan of some kind, and they are legal. As a matter of fact, I went to a swearing in of one of my Egyptian friends just a week and a half ago as a citizen. And so they come in legally, and and so that when I talk about the international community that I know in that area, these are newcomers that are new immigrants, just like my ancestry was, just like all of our ancestry was. Now the migration population that's coming across the border, that's a whole nother thing, because they're not legal and they're here. I had a friend of mine that one of my dear friends down in Mexico. Bless her, she came to America illegally. And she was sitting in church one day. And she goes, Laverne, she goes, I was sitting there and the preacher was talking about obeying the laws of the land. And I thought, I'm not doing that. She's self-deported. She's self-deported back to Tecate. And she waited about 10 years before she could legally re-enter the States. And she comes and goes now, because she has family up here. But she self-deported because she realized she was breaking the law.
Wow.
Yeah, she's amazing. Magdalena,
Yeah.
I'm talking about you. Beautiful woman, just an amazing woman. But anyway, wow. What got us down that rabbit hole? We were talking about how the road projects have gone crazy because there's so much growth down in the Rutherford County area. And my thoughts on it, that it's a lot of international growth. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
People are just coming in this middle
Yeah.
Tennessee. We're hot right now. And what scares me is we're so far behind today on our infrastructure, like our highways. We're having trash problems as we speak. And then they're talking about all this growth coming in here, and we're nowhere near handling it. We're really not. It's, I mean, what do you do? I mean, I think we're all doing more housing permits than we got infrastructure.
Right.
It's like I'm going to announce right now, solid waste will be closed Friday and Saturday for Christmas, but the day after Christmas, which is a holiday, solid waste will be open.
Okay, so
count
you
on
say
it.
Friday and Saturday, don't you mean, because Saturday's Christmas Eve, Sunday's Christmas.
Yeah.
But it'll be closed Friday because Sunday is Christmas Day.
Yeah.
And according to the government calendar, they would get Friday and Monday.
Right.
Because the holiday is Saturday and Sunday
Yeah.
this year. So they should, just like any other employee of the state or the city, should get Friday and Monday. But no, because there's such a need, they're coming in on Monday.
There's no way we could
Okay.
shut down
Yeah.
3 days
Right.
and then open back up.
Yeah.
We couldn't handle what would be coming in.
Right.
So they will be there Monday
Okay.
to
Bless them,
accept
bless
trash.
them.
And of course that's on overtime, but it's not only solid waste. Animal control, 7 days a week. It don't matter if it's a holiday or what.
Oh, wow.
Somebody's got to clean them cages and feed those animals.
Yes.
Of course, the EMS has got to work, 24/7. And then the sheriff's department, we got to keep the jail fed and clean. There's a lot of people that work during the holidays, and
Yeah.
they're called essential workers. During COVID, that's one reason essential workers were so hard to get and keep, and you had to up some salaries because these people did not get a break or get to work from home.
Yeah.
It was very important to keep the country going during COVID.
Well, my friend Paul Rainey, that's on here with us every morning on the show in comments, he was a Metro firefighter, and his son is. And so, because they're friends of mine, I listen to them always in discussion about, well, we can have Christmas on this day because this one has to work or that one has to work. And it's
Yeah.
always been the situation that they had to always adjust their holiday schedule based on who was in
on
the
call.
station, who was in the
Yeah.
fire station. And so I'm telling you that's a thing. That's a thing for sure. And so you need to be sure and thank all of those who are out there serving and
People at the
I was praying
hospital
over
working on Christmas Day, we don't think about that. Firefighters,
absolutely.
yeah.
And when I have somebody in that's a first responder, I say, do you have a first responder prayer list? If you don't, please make one. Think about the people who you know in your life who are first responders. Put them on a prayer list and lift them up every chance you get for protection, because they are out there doing you talk about doing jobs people don't want to do. They do it because it's a calling for them, but it is hard. It is emotionally, just the emotional things that they go through is just incredible. So please, please, please get you a first responder prayer list and make sure that's something that you are diligent about. And we need to cover them in prayer. Talking with Mayor Billy Vogle, we could just go all over the place. Barbara Willis is up here putting some stuff up about scholarship opportunities for our foreign exchange students, and just love Barbara and all the work she does. Really reach out to them. In comments, she's got some information on that. But there's scholarships available for the next generation that wants to do foreign exchange. So if you've got some kid here in Robertson County that think you want to do foreign exchange with, go and check afs.org, and they'll help get you plugged in. We're continuing to talk with Mayor Billy Vogle, but I am going to go ahead and pause. I want you to tell me about Cumberland Connect and your just wonderful internet, because I'm telling you, mine is terrible right now, and I can't wait for Cumberland Connect. You have really enjoyed having. How long have you been on the system with Cumberland Connect?
2 years.
2 years. Oh, I'm so
Here's
jealous.
the thing: they started out in the most remote
Yes, that's what they should have done.
part of the county,
Absolutely.
and they're moving in.
Yeah.
They're moving in, and I'm surprised that you're still.
Well, I've got some
guess-
connectivity.
yeah.
I've got AT&T, and I
on a dead end road back in
I have
there.
a 3.5. Well, and here's the thing: if it had not been for the fact that this is going to every electric customer, if it hadn't been the fact that and it's become a public utility. That's the reason why I'm able to get it. And I'm so glad that has happened, because I had been trying to get the cable companies would get to the top of the hill and they're like, we ain't coming down there for one customer. if I wanted to pay for the install, I could, which was enormous. I'm like, I don't need your internet that bad. But here lately, it's really becoming a problem more and more. And I think that maybe AT&T's doing something and just kind of throwing up their hands and quitting on some of us, because they know we're going to Cumberland Connect. And I can't say enough about it. I'm so excited. I'm getting a gig. My children say I don't need a gig, but I want a gig. And so for $80 a month, I'm going to get up to 1,000 megabits per second. Can you imagine upload and download speeds like that? No data caps, no throttling speeds, no residential contracts. Going to be able to stream 4K video without buffering. Are you kidding me? Working on my pictures. Oh, that would be so wonderful. With being able to upload things and to work on all the things that I do. I got a lot of stuff going on, y'all. I need high-speed internet. Okay, and here's the deal. If you want info, easy to do. Call them at 800-987-2362, 800-987-2362, or you can go to cumberlandconnect.org, www.cumberlandconnect.org, put a / workshops on that, and there's even workshops going on that'll help get you acclimated to say, hey, what's going on with high-speed internet? What's that going to mean for me? Well, they can fill you in and get you all up to date on all that. So go and talk to them today. Put your zip code in and find out when they're going to be knocking on your door. And when they knock, man, answer it and say, get on in here, because it is time for high-speed internet for those of us who have been just kind of dragging along, and it is time. It's time to move into what's next, and Cumberland Connect can do that for you. It's powered by Cumberland Electric, and everybody who is a Cumberland Electric customer, you're going to have access. And when you get in touch with them, you know what to do. Well, you turn to cumberlandconnect.org. Mayor Billy Vogle is in the house. Okay, my husband will say, you talked for 20 minutes about just anything and everything and didn't even touch on the meeting. So, okay, I'm going to hush.
Okay, we're going to touch on the meeting then.
Let's go.
Let me say something first. I have bragged 3 years without a finding from the state auditors. This year we came upon something that EMS with the salaries and the way the personnel handbook was wrote up, and we did a self-search, and we seen something we didn't think was right. So we called the state auditors to come in, and sure enough, the way a sentence was wrote up in the handbook didn't justify how we was paying our EMS workers. So they put it down as a finding, even though we turned ourselves in. And we paid a lawyer $20,000 to write that book and write that sentence, but still it was need to be reworded. So we have got a finding this year, and I want to be out front with everybody. That's what it is, and we seen it first. And it's like the young man that does the altar work that comes from the state. I told him, I said, I know you're gonna find something. It's kind of like when fire marshal comes in, a lot of people would take down their exit signs just so they'd hurt and find something, and then they'd be happy and move on.
It's like, okay, there's it now. See you later.
See you later. I found something.
Oh, that's hysterical.
So, but anyway, I want to get out in front on that. It's a very small thing. Had changed a couple words in a sentence, but still a finding is a finding.
Well, very good.
I'm not losing sleep over it, but my finance directors tore all to pieces.
Oh, well, you hate to lose a perfect record.
Yeah, they tore all to pieces.
And you hate to lose a perfect record, and but that's all right.
But anyway, last night, I'm just say today is December the 20th. Tomorrow is the shortest day of the year. After tomorrow, we'll gain a minute of sunshine every day.
Yay.
Till summer, because I know this morning I've come in the dark, and when I leave this afternoon, it's dark. And it's miserable and going to be cold this week. I'm going to ask people to please watch their pets outside. We're talking 15 below. Animals or anything, watch your neighbors, because this could be serious here at Christmas. I think things are changing. When I was a kid, it seemed like January and February was your coldest months. But lately, December can be pretty bad too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But 15 below, I mean, you better be checking your antifreeze. You be sure you undo your hose
water
pipes.
run a little bit.
Yeah, undo your hose pipes, because
Yep.
there's going to be a lot of people's water freeze up this weekend, and they'll be calling the water plants and say, "Hey, I don't have any water, but chances are it's froze up in your basement or something."
Yes, absolutely. It's going to
Maybe
be a
leave it
cold one.
dripping. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I was talking with my mother yesterday, and my brother, they're on the farm, and he had just come in the house right before I called and said, "Mother, do you have your water running?" to make sure that there's no frozen pipes that they have to deal with over Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, that's okay. We had a pretty short meeting last night. In my communications, of course, I said that we'd be closed the 23rd and the 26th for Christmas, and then the next week, January 2nd, for New Year's. But our essential workers will be working all through Christmas. The courthouse and the office building will be closed. And these folks deserve a good holiday, trust me. And, of course, the county commissioners, we haven't took our group picture yet. We're going to do that next month. I announced that. When you go in the office building and courthouse, you'll see from years past all the pictures of the county commissioners, and it's pretty neat to see. And I look at the old ones, it reminds me I came on in 97.
Okay.
And a lot of them, I'm the old guy now. Yeah, I am the old guy now.
I'm like that in radio. I used to be the kid, now I'm the old woman.
I'm the old guy. I see all these pictures of, all the guys I served with, great bunch of guys, and ladies too. And now we're kind of a different world. I have to admit, the county commission now is more this way or that way, and it's a lot different than it used to be. I can tell the personalities are a lot different.
Oh, yeah.
A lot different. We all got the same thing in mind, but we got a different direction sometimes about how to get there.
So you had to tell them to come pretty next session.
Yep, we're going to take
pictures.
your
picture.
And
for history.
And then like on zoning last night, all we had was one. One zoning in District 2.
Things are slowing down.
Yes, it's slowing down, and everybody talks about raising interest rates. Well, it went up to what, 5% maybe if you're out there borrowing money. Folks, in 1979, I bought a pickup brand new from Summers Motor Company when they was up there right next to the depot, next to the railroad track. I paid 17.5% interest. Yeah, in 79.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the first house I bought was 16.5% interest. And and now when people think about 5% interest, that's unreal.
Yeah.
God, we're still a long way from what it was back in the 70s.
Yeah.
Early 80s, it's just it was terrible.
I've never had to finance
But you didn't think
at those
about
rates.
it because that's the way it was.
Yeah. But that's what it was. The only time I've ever seen, high rates like that is on a credit card.
Yeah.
My rates have always been reasonable that I've had to do any kind of a loan on. So, and I mean, just flat awesome at times too. But yeah, that's crazy. But I think about the people, we're going to talk about Barry and Rebecca here in a second, but I think about the people trying to purchase a home right now and the difference today versus just a year ago and what that interest rate's going to do, but
it's going to slow things down.
Yeah, it's going to definitely
slow things down. But then when we turn it back around and it starts going down again, everybody will be refinancing too. So, they say if you can get 2% better, you can refinance and
if you don't get more than a couple of points, it's not really worth it by the time you pay the closing fees and blah blah blah.
That's all part of that. It's part of the game.
So.
But still, we're in a good time. I know recession's coming. Probably take us 8 or 9 months to get out of it, but it's affecting a lot of the factories. I mean, we ordered a new ambulance the other day. It's going to take 2 years to get here.
Oh my!
It's just the way things are right now.
It's crazy.
And if you got some ambulances that's got 300,000 miles on, and you're 2 years from getting a new one, it's a scary thought.
Let's just do it.
So
and
we went ahead and
talked about
ordered
those ambulances, last time.
Yeah, so we went ahead and ordered another one, and I'm just worried about the patrol cars and all that kind of stuff. They went up from like $188,000 on ambulance in the last 3 months to now they're $240,000.
Wow.
Because they're so scarce, they can price themselves whatever they want.
Right.
And we got to have them. We got to have them.
As somebody that drives things until they fall apart, I can tell you can get an awful lot out of a vehicle if you just maintain it. So, get the oil changed. And, I mean, there's nothing. I run stuff with a lot of miles on it, and I have done that for many, many, many years. And you can do it. I'm just saying, you can do it. You can do it. So, but work with it. You just have to adapt and move on, right?
Yep. Batteries, high tires, and it takes a lot of money to keep the fleet up.
Yes, I'm sure.
Yeah, of course when they're not running, they're idling. You don't want to turn it off and have a dead battery or something, and then we get a call. Well, after our reports last night, of course we do highway, animal control, trustee has a report, and then we do fire and solid waste, and EMA, our planning committee has a report. We have like all these reports that come from different committees that our county commissioners sit in on before they go to the meeting. And then when we get to our resolutions, you don't hear a lot of questions because they've already read the reports. And that helps a whole lot. It keeps maybe banner down and looking like we're not prepared for what we're doing. Even our veteran service officer sends in a report every month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Terry Wilson.
He does a great job. Great job. He's brought in millions into Robinson County for our veterans. Millions to help them out. And our Vietnam veterans are getting very old now.
Oh, yes, they are. Bless them. The few that, honestly, we're losing them so fast, though, because of Agent Orange. Just a horrible number. And so, it's about time we honored them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and last night we also had our committee reports. But we picked new members for committees. We have every January we have to do several: animal control, finance audit, finance investment, budget, safety committee, agriculture committee, 911 board, zoning board of appeals, construction board of appeals, workhouse board, and the health board. All those people were re-nominated or new people were added. If you're interested in serving on a committee, we do have some committees that, you call them civilians?
Yeah, there you go.
Everyday Robinson County people can serve on. And if you're interested, call my office.
Talk to Mark.
Yeah, talk to me. And
I was going to say, call my husband sometime. He'd be a good one. If you've got any kind
I'm looking for maybe somebody to put on zoning to represent the west part of the county. But usually when something very controversial comes up and your phone starts ringing constantly and people calling, a lot of people don't like to serve on zoning. It can be
He's the safety guy. His education is in security, safety, emergency management, and so he loves that stuff. And so he's very interested in roads and all that kind of thing, because he said, I asked Billy about the road over at such and such school.
Yeah.
And I said, well, send me a text. So I may have a text with some things he wanted you to check on
the road
around
he's
the
talking
schools.
about is
there's another one too.
It's pretty cool because it's in the city limits, but they don't want it no more, so they're trying to give it to the county. And the county's saying, well, you fix it up like it's supposed to be, and we'll take it over. And it's kind of, that road's in limbo, but we all know who it belongs to. But
yeah, we'll see it. Well, I think he said something about a road around Chrysler too. I don't know. He mentioned it to me, and I said text it to me. So I'll send you what he's got in mind. But he's like, we got to do something. He goes, it's not safe. so I'll talk to him.
If you live on a road that's got painted lines, that's a state-assisted road. Now that don't mean that the county don't keep it up, but the state also does funds. And I think the rule is, if you join a state highway on each ends, then the road in the middle that joins them is a state assistant. Okay. I think that's the way it is.
But and that's the thing, when you go and you got to know who's responsible for what. Yeah. And I'll show. Text me, honey, and let me know what those roads were, because I didn't see it before we sat down. So
yeah, I tell you, our highway department does a great job.
They do, and
they do a great. I've seen them pave something, and then I'll go to where the big boys on the state are. There's no comparison.
Well. And they're so responsive, because our road, we dead end out past the wastewater plant. And the road the property we own is actually at our mailbox. That road is not ours, it's county road. And it washes really bad because it comes down that valley and the water and stuff. All we have to do is call them and say, hey, we just need a load of that, what is that stuff, that chipped up stuff?
They got that stuff, it's
they come around
asphalt,
and they're just wonderful.
Byproduct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and what happened is, when we had a roofing company, if we took rock off of a building, we would just put it on our road. Yeah. So we maintained it for a long time. Well, once we stopped roofing, it got pretty bad. And Mark's like, what are we going to do? And I made a phone call, and they took care of it. They're like, oh, well, we just, because we'd always maintained it, because we had the material we needed to get rid of, because it was just rock off of, had that ballasted roof, had the rock on it. And we would just constantly be putting rock on that we would pull off a roof. And, so that took care of it. Well, then once we stopped having access to that, then, the guys came in and took care of it for us. It's kind of needing it right now, too. I'll probably be calling them here in a day or two. So maybe after
trust
Christmas.
me, the equipment they use is very expensive. They're looking at a new roller right now. And if they was to order it, it's kind of like an ambulance. I don't know when they'd finally get it, but the price is unreal.
Oh, yeah, equipment.
That stuff. And what scares me, we're talking about electric cars now, and the highway department does not get one penny of property tax. Not one penny.
Really?
They are run strictly off the gas tax.
Okay.
And as we
didn't
go
realize that.
as we go to electric, that check is going to get smaller and smaller and smaller.
I don't
like
think
our
electric's going to.
our
It's going
airport-
to take a while
yeah.
for electric to take hold, I think.
Our
but,
airport runs. They get TDOT money, but it comes from the fuel that's sold into airplanes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they get the tax off it, and them checks really help keep our airport going. But that, people think, well, my tax dollars, I pay in to the trustees for the roads. No, it don't go. They don't get a penny of it.
Interesting.
Yeah,
You
they
talking
sure
about
don't.
electric cars. I have a son that's an electrical engineer, and I don't know. I need to run this by him, but he talks about how we have got to turn back to nuclear energy. Okay, I mean he's very big into nuclear energy is the answer to keeping us from absolutely just overloading our electric grid, and so I wonder what he thinks about maybe nuclear cars, because it needs a new nuclear energy needs a new publicist, because it's gotten a very bad rap, and it's not what it used to be. It's not, Chernobyl and 3 Mile Island. That's not what it is, and that's all that people talk nuclear. And it's like no. It needs a new publicist.
If people don't know, they don't
Yeah.
understand.
Right.
It's kind of like whether it's county government or whatever. It's like people thinking about their road money.
Yeah.
They thought it'd come out of their property tax. No, it don't.
I thought I knew that the gas tax was highly responsible for it, but I thought there was
Yeah.
some property tax that was
Yeah.
that was set aside for that as
Yeah.
well. But I
Most
didn't
of-
realize that.
Most of your property tax is goes toward debt, like
Okay.
building schools.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Maybe I'm gonna say probably maybe 20% of it, or 25% goes toward just local government. Our general fund, like running the jails and all that, that's but the 75% of it's where we're in debt building schools, yeah, and buying equipment, stuff like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's. I've been rumored that the schools, if it can come next spring, wanting a pretty good sized bond to buy some land and build another school up toward White House or Greenbrier.
Yeah, wouldn't be
and,
surprised.
And if that happened, boy, I was hoping we could wait, because in 2027 we lose 55% of our debt. That's great.
Yes.
Great. But right now, to build a school, with the way the interest rate may be, with the lack of material out there to build it,
Yeah.
the lack of contractors, we probably could be looking at $60-70 million. Yeah.
Yikes.
And that scares me. That
Yeah,
scares me.
that's a lot.
Because we do have good fund balances, but your fund balance means you can only borrow so much. Mm-hmm. And you can't go over, or the state will move in. But our fund balances are real good. But when you start borrowing that kind of money, you can eat up your borrowing power.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like, whatever you make at your salary, when you go to the bank, they're going to say, well, you can only borrow so much. Mm-hmm. And that's the way government needs to work.
And the thing is, if you're not diligent about that and responsible, and you have something that happened like the tornadoes that have devastated
Mayfield.
communities. Just like Springfield, Mayfield is the county seat of Grace County. So if you think about, I say this a lot, but I've got firsthand experience because that's where my family is. But when you start talking about the being responsible and the things that you need to do, because if you had a devastating tragedy like that, and it could happen anywhere. It's inexplicable how tornadoes drop out of the sky and what they do. And I know science people, I know there is an explanation, but I don't understand it. So for most of us, we don't understand, and you just have to always be ready, because you just never know. You just never know is the bottom line.
Yeah, and thank goodness we got the technology now.
To at least see it coming,
Well, see it coming,
Yeah.
and Springfield does have a system that goes off. I think it went off a couple weekends ago.
Yeah.
Because Channel 4 was in town asking about it.
Oh, how funny.
They got one for lightning and one for tornadoes and, stuff like that, and a different sound.
Yeah.
But back in the old days, people, they'd drop out of the sky and you never would see it. I mean, they had no warning.
Absolutely.
It's like I'm warning you right now. It's going to get down to 15 below Saturday, folks.
Oh.
I'm telling you right now.
It's going to be a cold Christmas, y'all. Going to be
Yeah.
a cold Christmas. Kids won't be going outside.
I don't know where we're at clockwise, but
We've got about 20 minutes. I need to go. Let's go
You
ahead and
need to go
pause it.
commercial?
Let me go ahead and
All
do a
right.
commercial. We'll talk about Barry and Rebecca Richards, and you can kind of gather your thoughts and see where we want to go next. We'll talk about Barry and Rebecca Richards with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team, my friends in the real estate community, and all this stuff we're talking about with, do we have the infrastructure for this? And do we, all of these things come into play when you're at the real estate table. And it's really nice if you've got somebody that really knows what they're talking about. And Rebecca has displayed that. I mean, she came out of a radiology career. She's smart. She went full-time with real estate a long time ago because she was one of the first in the area to be a seniors real estate specialist, which illustrates she studies. And that way she knows what she's coming to the table, what she needs to do, and what you need to know. Cross those T's and dot those I's, right? Well, and then her hubby is the marketer. Love talking to him. I love tapping his knowledge to come in and help me with all this stuff they're bringing into Greenbrier High School for our audio video production department because, I mean, he's worked with it. He was 17 years a vice president of a media marketing company, and he knows his stuff. And so that means he knows his stuff, and he can come to the real estate table, make sure that your property is seen in the best light possible. It's going to have awesome photography. You're going to have drone footage if you need it, a walkthrough tour if you need that. That's what he brings to the table. They're a great team. If you want to connect with them, they specialize in Robertson County properties, but they also buy and sell in the surrounding counties and across the state line up in Kentucky. You can contact them, sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or buy, B-U-Y, robertsoncounty.com, or the number 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425. You know what to say. Tell them you turned Cynthia. Mayor Billy Vogle in the house. We got 20 minutes. So,
Okay.
what we need to cover. We don't want to leave anything out.
We got
Those middle
we're going to
fuss.
get into our resolutions now. Our first resolution was just for $7,500, but it goes to the archives.
Oh, yeah.
We had to have.
I love the
We
archives.
have got
It's
to
fun.
expand our microfilming. Kind of get away from paper and get everything on microfilm. That way, the tornadoes or whatever, we can put
Yeah,
this microfilm up. And but this money is going. It comes from a register of deeds that's doing all this paperwork. And you think about, we're doing deeds all the time. People will do their wills or whatever, and they want it on files. And then when times get hard, we do have a lot of more foreclosures.
Yeah.
Where banks are, hey, banks, I got a lien on this property, it needs to be put in the books, you know, when they do title searches and everything. So it takes a lot of filming, a lot of paper at that office. And they needed some more money to do microfilming and then put these products in a building where the air, like an air-controlled climate.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very expensive to do that because these things will be around for the next 100 years.
Environmental controlled.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
It's over my head. All right,
Mine
the
too.
schools. You know, I don't really get into the school resolutions much with y'all because it's so hard to explain. But here's one right here for $1.6 million. And of course, what they do, they show the school funds where this money's coming from. Some of it's from the state, some of it is grants, some of it's from the state of Tennessee. But then once they make their revenues, then they'll show us where every penny is going
Yeah.
for expenses. I'm going to tell you, folks, everything is, you know, right here is vocational education program. They're getting $40,000 for capital outlay. Director's office for expenses. Every penny is showed when these auditors come in. It's just it takes a lot of people to keep these pennies going. Here's a bunch of money for the pre-K education program. So $1.6 million they moved around this month for education. Okay, we got one from the sheriff's department, and it was a grant that they got through the federal that came through the state for $111,000, and it would be used on overtime plus licensed vehicles, $71,000, and this is all because of the drug education. So you know, that's something look like we're going to be spending more money on as we go through life. You educate for drugs at these kids, but then it don't stop there. when it goes into the court system with drugs, and then you've got children's services picking up children at night, trying to find them places, and then you got incarceration. It's just a cycle that keeps going and going and going. It's very expensive on the taxpayers.
You talking about picking up the kiddos?
Yeah.
Since you mentioned that, let me go ahead and give a plug for the
Yeah.
Isaiah 117 house. If you have not, if you're struggling trying to figure out what can I get somebody for Christmas, make them a sock buddy for the Isaiah 117 house. You can go to Isaiah 117, and then you pick Robertson County, Tennessee, and you will help support our houses and our house. And you can donate every month in the name of your loved of whoever you want to honor at Christmas. And there'll be a sock buddy. And you mentioned the folks picking up the kids and trying to take them somewhere. It's not officially opened yet, but our Isaiah 117 house is taking care of that. Oh my goodness. Misty is we just love her so much. We got to get an update from her, but you mentioned that, so I just wanted to go ahead and give them a plug. That's a great Christmas gift. Be a sock buddy. Isaiah 117 house. Give that in the stocking this year, an actual stocking.
Yeah, part of this grant is teaching materials for drug education for children. Yeah, starting early, and hey, it starts with vaping and everything, folks.
Oh, it's a horrible problem.
It starts right there, and it's just it's kind of like Costa. Somebody's got to be around to get these kids.
Kaza.
Yeah, when the parents are arrested at night, these kids have nowhere to go, and they're scared to death. And you see where the state is overloaded with children's services now. I think they had like 70% of their people quit last year. But caseworkers and stuff, it's kind of a tough job.
CASA, court-appointed special advocates is what that's about, and we visit with them from time to time, and as often as they need. It's an amazing program. So go ahead, keep going.
Okay, our next resolution does with the zoning and the zoning office. As you know, we had a retiree. Bob Hogue was our planner, passed away. Our assistant planner had a stroke, and we lost 3 people within 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And so we're going in there and redoing the planning office. We're working with getting a new planner, but I'm working with GNRC as a consultant to help me find someone that is not a knee-jerk reaction. I don't want to just put somebody there just because we need one. I want a guru there. As this county changes, it's not like Farmer Bob is selling Farmer Pete a piece of property and they draw a line through it anymore.
Right.
We got a plan. These people are moving in here. We want to know what size lots they're putting them on. We want to know where the lots need to be, what will fit in with the agriculture and our green spaces. We don't want to turn into something like, I'm not running Nashville down, but at one time they was agriculture. I mean, when I lived in Nashville as a little bitty kid, there was farms all around.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's all interstate now.
It's bad when I got to Nashville in 1983, and I go down there now, and I'm just like, it blows my mind. I spent a lot of years in Nashville.
I was at a meeting last week. This is unreal to believe. 300 football fields a day is being built in the United States. A day.
What?
Yeah. That's what shows where our priorities are. But anyway, that's because of schools being built.
Yeah.
They got to have football fields. They got to have soccer fields, and that shows how much we're growing. Can you believe 300 a day is what this comes from?
Wow.
It's
wow. That's just weird. That's odd. That's odd.
Yeah.
That's just that seems just bizarre. So
now you've got T-ball. I mean, junior pro, senior pro, junior high, middle school, and then high school.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, and I mean, hang on, y'all. Hang on. We're going
Not to mention they're building a big one over at Nashville.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, so,
speaking of football fields.
Yeah, we'll see where that goes.
Yeah.
But so we're going to put about $110,000 our next budget into our zoning office to get the best people we can get and to grow. We're talking about having engineers, our inspector, building inspector. Mr. Gregory's 71 years old, and we don't have anybody behind him to take that job or that's even trained. That shows how old our workforce is getting in the county, and it's really hit our zoning office hard. So we're going to get prepared for that. That's what that resolution was about. This one here is probably the best resolution and was most discussed last night. Our industrial zoning board, when I came on the county commission, we didn't have a lot of industrial places to work in Robinson County. We really didn't. It was agriculture from Greenbrier back in, but it's not anymore. But I-65 is very, very hot right now. And since I've been mayor, I have done some ribbon cuttings. The governor's come to visit us in Orlando. He brought a Japanese company into Orlando for us. We've done some around Portland. But now I've been telling Margot Industrial Board, and they have agreed with me, I'm not telling them nothing, that we needed some more land for an industrial park.
Mm-hmm.
Our land in Springfield, inside the city limits up here, was really the only industrial park I knew of. And it's about gone. It's about gone. And everybody wants around the interstate.
Mm-hmm.
All your factories coming in. If you got a factory in Indianapolis, they want to put one in Nashville. You're 5 hours away, and do your trucking and stuff. And they are wanting to buy 100 acres up and around Portland and White House for industrial park. There's already some factories there. This is turning into a big industrial park, and the industrial board wants to buy some land, and then they get, if they buy 100 acres, they get a, what'd you say, the farmer that's selling them and the people that's got this property is going to sell them another 100 acres. So we're talking a pretty good price for the land, but this land will be sold and the money put back into Robinson County.
Mm-hmm.
The money they're wanting to use their money, and then when the company comes in and buys 40 acres, then they put their money back in their fund.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and this gives us some property for these factories that's looking. We got people right now wanting buildings to move into, and we just don't have them.
Right.
Yeah. So
Well, interesting. And she came on and talked a little bit about that. I need to have her back in.
Yeah.
And the whole industrial park, there's a little bit of a stigma with me because I'm from West Kentucky, and we had an industrial park come in that just decimated our farming community. Okay, and they came in and they did not pay great money. I mean, it was okay.
Yeah.
And a lot of people felt forced out because, well, they sold, so I guess I have to sell. Now, my family did not. And so as long as the farmer wants to sell and you're paying him top dollar, absolutely. I think it's a great idea. But as soon as she said industrial park, it kind of let bells go off with me because of our experience back in Kentucky, which was, I need to shut my mouth. My brother's going to be like, Vern, shut up.
Well, hey, we're talking $50,000 an acre. So,
Oh, yeah. That sounds a lot better than what they got for the industrial park.
Well, y'all sound like y'all might have got eminent domain or something. But
No. It's a long time ago, Billy. I'm telling you. Yeah.
When you get up to 100 acres, the way I was explained, you started getting grants for infrastructure, water lines, roads, and so I think this is White House. We're working with White House on this, and they're, once the state of Tennessee gets involved, and TVA's got grants out there too, because they want to have your business. So I think this is really great right on I-65. Let's face it, 65% of our people are driving outside of Robinson County to work.
Yeah.
And I want them to stay inside the county. You know, if they stay inside the county, they're going to spend their money. I hope I explained this right, but this is something that's, like I said, I've been here since '97. I've never seen a resolution like this. And it shows how much we're growing and how many people's wanting to come to Robinson County.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And they want to be around the interstate.
I'll get Margot back in here to talk a little bit more about
Margot's retiring at the end of the year.
Oh, at the end of this year?
Yes, she is, and she
I
has
knew
done
she
a
was
great
retiring,
job.
but I didn't know it was that soon.
Yeah,
Wow.
she's done a great job. They have hired a lady named Vonda Gates. She has worked out of Hopkinsville for Chamber of Commerce. She's been Montgomery County, I think, with the industrial boards. She is in the office now and will take over the 1st of January.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, you need to get her in here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I've met her 2 or 3 times and been some ribbon cuttings, been in her office. I've even had people text me from out of state saying we got us a blue chipper.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Ain't that something?
Wonderful. That's
so,
awesome.
Yeah, you need to get her in here.
Okay,
I'm
absolutely.
going to tell her today that I talked to you.
Okay, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like I said, I said that about the industrial part because I think I kind of got I don't know if I got crossways about it, with Margot, and I didn't want to offend her, but I just wanted her to understand my history.
well-
With that word industrial park back home, it's in my family, it's like, because it was, again, many years ago, but this
Yeah.
is a completely different thing. It just kind of, how you have like a red flag?
Well,
in
hey-
my mind, I was like, okay, industrial park, talk to me. What are you talking about? What are you doing? As
Well,
long as
I-
the farmer's wanting to do it and you're giving them top dollar, I say, it's his land.
Well, when I was a kid,
You
the interstate came through and took out our whole neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about you didn't have no really choice what they offered you for the houses or anything.
And when it comes, when you're looking at something that you've got to have, like a road and things like that, my problem with eminent domain is when you come in and it's like, well, this is for better of the community, and it ends up being a commercial venture, and you end up shutting down, taking family lands because you know better, and you're like, well, no, we need to let this industry come in and use your land because they can help the community better. That's when I start getting sideways.
Here's the thing about
You know.
industrial parks. You're putting all the industrial
Right.
in one spot.
Right.
You're not spot zoning. This spot is for industrial parks. It's going to be off the interstate. And that way you're not going out in the middle of a farmland and saying, hey, here's an industrial lot.
Well, that's what they did in West Kentucky.
Well, that's okay, but this here is strictly, this park is
Yeah.
industrial, and that's all it is. And of course there'll be restaurants built around it and all that. But yeah, you're all in one cluster.
Yeah.
And thank goodness it's right off the interstate, because that's where everybody wants to be.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And I'm not going to keep on this stuff back home because I don't know what I'm talking about, number one. I just get little bits and pieces because I'm a Tennessean now. Anyway, let me go ahead and do my last break, and then we'll
right.
come back and we'll finish up talking about some of my friends here in Tennessee, Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gifts and Gardening Center. I cannot say enough about the Corbins. I love them so much. They have helped me just tremendously, and they've got a lot of really great gift ideas out there. If you go to their social media page, that's the best way to stay up to date on Corbin Creek. Go and follow them on Facebook. They do a great job putting up all the ideas. They put up, why don't you get a gift certificate for somebody from Corbin Creek? Go out and get something beautiful from the greenhouse, a house plant, or they've got all kinds of handcrafted items out there. Miss Jane, I've got my Christmas apron that Miss Jane made, and I love it. It is so, and I got some pot holders and things like that. I just wanted them because I knew Miss Jane had made them. And again, you can go to the greenhouse, get in some fresh plants and bring into your home. And the CBD products, guys, I cannot say enough about, if you're interested in checking out CBD, go to the source and find out exactly what you need to know about the science behind it. It's something that I was very skeptical about. I thought it was a network marketing thing. And I suppose there is some people that are network marketing it. But if you really want real CBD, go to the source. This is made from Robertson County plants. Her brother Bill grows them, and it's the pure thing. And the salves, they've got 3 different kinds of salves you can get. They've got one for headaches, one for bug bites, and then one, the original pain salve. They make them right there in the house. When I neglect, sometimes when I'll move things around and maybe I'll set my oil in a place and I'll forget to take it for a few days. That happened recently because of Christmas. I was moving stuff around. I got to aching so bad yesterday. I came home, took a heavy dose of oil, took one this morning. All the difference in the world. And it's because that inflammation, it helps the inflammation just dramatically. My hip replacement doctor told me to get on CBD oil, and he was right. It made a difference, and it may make a difference for you. So if you want to talk to them about that, they're open right now from 10 to 4, Monday through Saturday, and then they're open from 1 to 4 on Sunday. If you can't make the hours, just give her a call. She says she'll meet you sometime. 615-384-3185, 615-384-3185. They're at 4920 Highway 161 here in Springfield. They're local. They know what they're talking about, and they can help you out, and tell them you can send them. Mayor Billy Vogle in the house. What do we still need to talk about, sir?
Okay, we had another resolution from schools last night. This one here is kind of like a Christmas gift to all the seniors. The laptops, computers they've got, they are giving these laptops to these kids to keep for life, or however long the laptop will last. But we found out that when you tell these kids, when you give them a laptop, this will be yours all through school, and you bring it back next year, and then when you graduate, it's yours, that they'll take better care of.
You better believe it.
Yeah. Now, if you give, it's like a book. You give me a book and say, hey, you're going to turn it in at the end of the year. It may not be the best shape after I've sat on it, throwed it down, but when you tell them this is going to be yours forever, they take better care of that stuff.
You better believe
Yeah,
it.
and they learn how to use it. So this whole resolution, there's about 12 pages here that says early graduate student unit, and each laptop's got a number, and it's going to that student. Yep. That's a good deal.
Yes, and that's something they have to do every year because they've got a new graduating class, because I've gone over that with Dr. Causey. So,
Yeah.
All right, my friend.
Last thing, in 2021, the Tennessee General Assembly passed a bill which allowed the county trustees to utilize a third-party collection agency, and this is to collect taxes on personal property. All the trustees were having a hard time collecting these taxes from folks. Right now, Robeson County for the last 10 years has got $150,000 on the book. Kendra Shelton has brought this to the county commission, and they voted to pass this last night to use this third-party collection agency. And what it is, if we're owed $500 from a person, we'll still get our $500. This collecting agency will add their fee on top of it.
Okay.
And they go after these people because Kendra doesn't have time to get up and go get in the car and chase them down. I mean, it's when you think about people not paying their taxes, $150,000, that's a penny on our tax rate right there. Yeah. So whatever we get will be that much to go toward the books, and get this stuff back on the book too, because a lot of this property's not even on, whether it's property, personal property, it's not on the book, and we're not getting anything out of it. You know, I'm a big believer in paying your taxes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I'm using the services, you need to pay for it. Yeah, so we've got some property that we're moving again, delinquent tax, and Kendra's told me this week that we've got some counties still got some property where people may have a piece of junk land, wetland, sinkholes, pond, or whatever, that they quit paying taxes on. It belongs to the county, and we're going to try to get rid of this stuff.
Okay.
It may not be worth a lot, but at least it gets put back on the book.
There you go. Somebody be paying taxes on it. So.
You know, somebody will take it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, would you kidding me? With the value of land around here, they'll turn it into something.
Buy a sinkhole and then go to the bank and get a lien on it. Yeah, that'll work every day.
And and develop it. You can develop it. You can move some rock. I know where you can get some rock. I actually have we've got a permit for 5 years to pull rock out of the creek, and boy, we're trying to get rid of it. So talk to me. Anyway, thank you, brother. Thank you so much.
Before we end, I just want to tell thanks to Margot for her career. Phyllis with Phyllis Morris. She's retiring at the end of the year.
My.
She's our tax attorney. She's retiring. Jonathan Gardner's been hired for that position. And I want to wish everybody in Robeson County a Merry Christmas. And please be safe and watch out for the weather, please.
Amen, amen. What he said, y'all. Thank you for joining us. I'll be back with you tomorrow. We're going to have more from Bill Johnson. So, no, tomorrow's Wednesday. Who's coming in? Oh, we've got the guy with the smoking barns that makes the smoking barns, and we'll have Ron Martin in here.
Oh, yeah.
It's Wednesday, of course. Thank you for joining us. Ellen, tomorrow's my son's birthday.
Ron Jordan with your local news from WSGI.
Thank you for joining us. This is 1100
A bizarre
WSGI.
discovery of a human heart in Humphreys County is now being treated as a murder. Tennessee Department of Transportation worker found the heart in a salt pile at the TDOT facility in McEwen last Thursday.